Hello again and welcome to the Warhammer 40k Imperial Guard Tactics video. So before we get into today's video, I would like to say a very big thank you to Hunter James White for sending in some pictures of his Armageddon Orc Hunters, which is a detachment for his Steel Legion. So I'm going to guess you sort of got a Steel Legion battalion, and then you've got like these guys, it's like a Catachan battalion. If so, that's really, really cool and a good example of how you can mix multiple detachments but also keep it fluffy at the same time. So absolutely fantastic job on these guys, Hunter. Really, really like the models. Love some of those classic Catachans. I love that Catachan with the big old power fist and the bolter. I think I've still got, I've got 2 copies of my old 3rd edition, early 3rd edition Imperial Guard Codex with pictures of that Catachan officer on the back, and it's an absolutely fantastic model. I want to get my hands on them. There's actually a few really old school cool Catachan models. You've got the lieutenant with like the bolter with the ammo belt over the gun. You've got this guy, you've got Strachan, you've got Marbo. Loads of old school cool models. Anyway, thank you for sending this in. Really good paint job. Really like what you've done with the bases, especially. If anyone else has any cool pictures they want to send in, please put them on my Facebook page. I only really check my Facebook regularly, just 'cause it's very easy for me to skim over it. There's a link down in the description below, and if you've got any cool pictures and you'd like me to use them, I'll take a look. So anyway, speaking of power fists, speaking of that officer, I just want to dedicate today's video to the power fist. Yay or nay? Are they good? Are they bad? Are they worth it? You know, it's a very important question. So for those of you that don't know what the Power Fist is, firstly, go report your nearest commissar and ask him to re-educate you, because you should know what a Power Fist is. It is a melee weapon available to the Imperial Guard, and it's the most expensive one. It's pretty much against any. It's a pretty much standard Imperial weapon and Chaos weapon, and basically it doubles your strength. It's AP -3 and allows you to do D3 damage. Now, in the past, the disadvantage of having a Power Fist was that you always struck last, so it was a risky thing, because you had to, if you had a Power Fist, you had to get hit first before you could then hit back with your Power Fist. Now in 8th edition, it's more a case of it's just -1 to hit, which is in some cases better, some cases worse. At least now if you charge, you're guaranteed to go with that Power Fist first. You're not going to get killed before you can even strike, which was a big thing back in the day. But the problem is that you pay for it. It's 10 points for a Power Fist. It's more than double most other power weapons. Okay? And it's -1 to hit, which means in most cases, you're only going to be hitting on like 4s with a Power Fist. So, it's definitely... It's a risky upgrade. Now, I'm a big fan of Power Fists. I have them on a lot of models. I find them to be, they fit in with my go big or go home philosophy. But I did a video recently about how that wasn't really working as well for me as it has done in the past. So I'm sort of revisiting Power Fists now. I think the reason why Power Fists are still valid, I personally think that Power Fists are still valid for a number of reasons. Number one, they still fit in with the go big or go home philosophy. Okay, as Imperial Guard, we only hit half the time, so we might as well make it so that when we do hit, we hurt the enemy. Okay. The reason the Power Fist still fits, whereas the las cannon I've found are starting to be a bit like, is because the Power Fist is only 10 points. Okay? It's still a relatively cheap upgrade. And in close combat, Imperial Guard really do struggle to wound, even more so. We can't, all our fancy guns that we have don't mean anything in close combat. And so when you need a power weapon, when you're in that situation where you need a power weapon, then you need it to do its job. And that's why power fists, I tend to find, are very useful. So they're cheap, yet they still retain a relatively powerful punch. Kind of like the plasma gun. It's cheap, and it's part of the go big or go home philosophy, but, you know, it's cheap, so it works. So I personally think power fists are very, very good. The second, from a point standpoint, second thing is, you're not, unlike las cannons, which you can put pretty much on any unit in the Imperial Guard. Power fists, you're going to have relatively few of them. You're going to have 3, maybe 4 at most. You're not going to have a huge amount. And the reason for that is, as Imperial Guard, we don't plan on being in close combat most of the time. And we take our power weapons, whether that be a power sword on a commissar or a power fist on someone else. We take those options because there is, in every game, those moments when you just need a power weapon. Maybe it only comes up once in a game, but you needed that power weapon and you didn't fucking pay for it, and you find yourself really, your bayonet charge bounces off because you didn't have a power weapon with you. You know, it happens to the best of us. Now, I've always been a big believer, even at the beginning of 8th edition, and I was doing like list reviews and stuff. I always used to say to people, I understand why you take that power weapon. You could get X, Y, Z instead of the power weapon, but I'm not telling you to get rid of it. In previous editions, I told people to generally get rid of them because of no point. But in 8th edition, with the way the AP system works, sometimes you need a hidden power weapon, and sometimes you need the hidden power weapon to really, really do a clutch moment, really do its job, and that's where I think the power fist wins out. Okay, and like I said, you're only going to be spending about 30 points on these things. You're going to have, and we've talked about this concept a while ago, this concept of fighting groups taking sort of like 3 small armies within an army. I still really like that principle of taking fighting groups. And I think within each, if you're taking 3 or 4 fighting groups in a 2,000 point list, you're looking at sort of like a tank, and a platoon of infantry, and some veterans, and a few officers, and a commissar. You're going to be looking at 3 to 4 fighting groups in a 2,000 point list. Having a power fist in there, it's only going to say in your 3 fighting groups, that's 10 points per fighting group, that's 30 points. It's not a huge amount, but it gives you that tactical edge, that tactical flexibility. So I think they are still worth it. This is a rule that applies to power swords, to any power weapon, but definitely to power fists. I think they're really good. Now the final point, which you could argue, so 3 points there. This is the third point. My final point is the most important point. It's rule of cool. Power fists are fucking cool. There is no doubt about it. Power swords, yeah, okay, they're pretty cool. They're pretty, flashy. Imperial Guard officer with his ceremonial saber, his flashy little power saber. Yeah, cool. I get it. I dig it. But it's not a fucking power fist. Power fists are just cool. All the models that come with power fists tend to be in really cool, epic poses. I'm looking at, in front of me right now, I'm looking at my classic Cadian Lieutenant, who's got a las pistol and power fist. I use this guy, I don't use him very often, and I've made a vow that I'm going to pretty much use him in every game going forward, because every game I've used him, he's done really, really well. He's one of the first officers I've ever owned. Okay, I think he was in the first lot of guard that I bought. And every single time I use him with his power fist, he always does epically, because he's cool. He has taken down a Riptide in single combat with that power fist. In more recent times, he has taken down Deathwatch kill teams, followed by a Deathwatch captain. This guy is a beast. Can't go wrong. It's just rule of cool. It's just rule of cool. So But you know, it's tactically it's viable, and you know, third reason it's just, you know, it's cool, you know. But the final thing I want to say, final actual tactical point is power fists are recognisable, and even good players will stop and pause and potentially change their plans because they see you have a power fist. On many occasions, I've had an opponent go, you know, I think I'm going to charge you in, and guess what? I've got a Lord Commissar of the power fist within heroic intervention range, and I've gone, are you sure? And they've gone, well, let me take a look. Oh shit, there's a power fist there. Actually, no, I'm not going to. And you know what? They should have charged me in that situation. I had a tenuous grip on the objective. They should have pushed me off it. Especially when I'm using pure infantry, you've got to kill all the infantry you can kill every single turn. You can't hesitate. Power fists are one of those weapons which allow you to play mind games with the opponent. We've talked about this in the past. Putting the voodoo into your opponent. Your opponent will, even if it's just for a moment, maybe it's just a moment's hesitation is all you need, but for a moment, your opponent will hesitate. Maybe they'll change their mind. Maybe they get voodooed by that power fist. That's why I think power fists are worth it. Power swords, they don't have the same impact. Power axes, power mauls, again, they don't have the same level of, oh shit, the same level of voodoo that they can put into the opponent. But a power fist will, 9 times out of 10, make your opponent stop and pause. And then there's a good chance he's going to change his mind. And you can use that to your advantage. So what do you guys think? Power fists, yay or nay? Put them down. Put loads of comments down below, guys. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.